All right, Mr. Wahome, now crossing over to just understanding the nitty-gritty details and the essence of, planning yourselves pretty hard. We say it's important, but there are different ways, like Amos puts it, in how you can decide to plan yourself, depending on the timelines, depending on what you have. Then in this case, how can one spend less and, equally wisely during this particular festive season so that they're able to swim the tides?
I think it's a critical thing to do, and one thing is just set one eye ahead and see what are things I need to pay ahead that are critical that I need to think about, and if possible, pay them now. When the children come home from school, they've got a fish schedule for next year, and there's nothing that can stop us if we have the money, paying it early, so that then we know we've already paid that and we dispense with that.
Right.
So looking at the things that are important is key, because if we don't attend to them and we're short of money, we'll find ourselves having to borrow expensively. The other thing in this season, we all suffer from something we call impulse buying. And impulse buying is just seeing things that we actually may not even need. We buy at a price we may not have considered, and essentially they're not the greatest things we do. We suffer from that. Again, personalities. We got people we call sanguines who actually suffer a lot from this, because when they see, they're very emotional. They like and they buy.
Why do I feel like I relate?
Okay, so this is something that if you know that's your challenge, then you actually have to take initiatives to make sure that doesn't affect you a lot. And there are simple things. You can actually make sure you don't have a lot of cash on you all the time.
Right.
Because if you have cash, you fall into temptations. It's all a question of falling into temptations. Sometimes you stop going to places that will get you tempted. Don't go to the shopping mall if you have no specific reason why you're going
there. Where you're going, nice.
Because if you go there, you will actually find yourself here. Look at the company you keep. If there are people who are always tempting you, maybe you learn the lessons and you stop getting tempted all the time. So that's a practical, simple thing we can do. The other way we can actually be able to spend less but actually have the quality is to make an effort and do comparison shopping. When we're shopping, let's not run into the first shop.
Right.
Let's go to the other shop and the other shop, and just especially when we're buying bigger things, because the person who does sales actually has got very great training. He understands one way of getting people to buy
get you to buy,
is to actually create scarcity.
Right.
So you walk to the showroom, you want to buy a car, and for some reason they always have two. And this other one we sold yesterday.
Right.
And now this one has another person who is interested. And in fact, they will tell you, this model is not even coming, and this model is better than the one that's coming after. Create scarcity. So when we're not comparing, we'll be victims to that scarcity, and we'll actually keep on buying. And it's easy. You're going to buy a nice dress, but when you walk 3 shops down the street, you're going to find it at that price.
I know, and you feel so disappointed.
What is this? What did I do?
Right.
The other practical thing we can do is something we were taught when we were in high school, and we tend to forget easily. If you walk into a supermarket for milk and bread, where do they keep it?
Almost the same place?
At the very far end.
Yes, at the
Why
far
do
end.
they keep it that far?
Okay.
Why can't they keep it at the entrance?
So that you can walk and see all these other things, and then by the time you're getting to what you're going to buy, you've seen other beautiful...
Yes, they will appeal to you. They will take you on a guilty trip. You keep putting stuff in your trolley, and finally, and when they advertise, what color do they use?
Brilliant colors, bright colors,
yes. And they know the man is very visual, so they bring in all those beautiful girls, well-dressed, so that you can actually be in their company for slightly longer, and that's going to get you shopping.
Right.
Now, if you think about it that way, then it is critical that before I go to the shop, I actually think, what do I need to do?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, we borrow from high school. If you remember your high school days, parents would always say, write down what you want.
Yes, and you go for specifics,
and
with a certain budget.
They would actually cross out a few things.
Yeah.
So, sugar, do you cook for yourself?
No.
Why do you need sugar?
Okay.
And they were right. That's why we're here. If they were wrong, we would not have made it this far.
We would not have been here, true.
Okay? So you see, you make a shopping list. That's what's called a shopping list. It helps you to think through before you come and buy. But we also stop stocking stuff in the house that we're buying things we already have. I'm buying tissue and soap and everything, but it's in the house. Now, obviously, I'm putting money where it should not be, and I might be short on cash. Festive season is a season we suffer from something very significant, especially parents, called tester power. Think about children this season. Nataka.
I know.
And they actually don't have to say it in words sometimes. They throw in a tantrum.
Right.
And now because you don't want the drama, you don't want all these things, you're blind.
Yeah.
And it is, I don't know if the children learned this psychology. The girl will throw it on the father.
Yes.
Okay? The son will throw it on the mother. It's called
True.
the Oedipus complex. It works perfectly. And it actually sells 15% of the things sold the world over.
Ooh.
Now, if you don't manage that, it's going to be a big challenge. It is practical. If your children are too young to understand this logic, maybe leave them at home when you go shopping. Buy them stuff, bring it to them.
Right.
If they understand, involve them.
Okay.
Negotiate before you come. And that's going to be helpful. So there are simple little things that we actually do that can make a whole big difference.
Wow, amazing.
And, I mean, and I know there are many more that we can talk
That we can
about,
still
but
do.
they are basic little things. The other thing is peer influence. Over the festive season, we get influenced a lot by a lot of people. My friends are traveling.
Let's travel to the
Mombasa,
coast.
to
I know.
Dubai.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody in the house is asking, are we also going? And you know, you feel the pressure.
Yeah.
And sometimes the banks have their vaults open, so they're ready to give you a loan to go on holiday. So we get tempted to do what other people are doing. And that peer influence is something we suffer all the time. You find you've got a nice phone, it can actually receive money, it can receive messages.
Yes.
But a colleague at work says, you Mkebe Anani. Why do they call my phone Mkebe? They just want
have
to
to
make
get a
me
better
feel
one.
good to
Yeah,
upgrade.
to
And we look
upgrade.
at all those pressure that people exert on us, they cause us to even go into things that we don't. And that's why a lot of people are living beyond the means.
Okay.
Because I've sent children into a school I can't afford. I live in a neighborhood I can't afford. Or even I can afford, then it means I don't have money to do other things. And, you know, there are simple, basic things that can make a whole big difference. But remember, they were never taught in school.
Well, okay, so if they were not taught in school, then it means they probably do not add any value, or,
No,
you
it
can
doesn't
pick
mean
them.
they don't need-
They have so much value,
a lot
but
of
you,
important things were never taught in school.
yeah, that is true. That is the
So
reality.
you're going to learn yourself.
But equally, there are things that were not taught in school because they were not as good and they were not necessary. So we equally need to be the
Everything that was taught
eye.
in school was good, but everything that was missed in school was even more important.
Oh, okay, interesting.